Hi all, in this video I will be discussing some few important problems on one-dimensional heat equation. Now there are three types of heat equation problem. This is type 1 problem where the boundary conditions and initial conditions are given. We have to just find out the solution of heat equation. Now the heat equation is given and the boundary condition and initial condition is given. Let us write down the suitable solution of our heat equation. Call it as equation number 1. Write down the boundary conditions and initial condition. Now this is our step 1. And in our step 2, what we are going to do is we are going to apply the conditions one by one and then solve the constants. Now apply the first boundary condition in equation 1, that is when x equal to 0, u equal to 0. You have to substitute in equation 1 and you get this equation. And since this is true for all time t, therefore c1 must be 0. Now substitute c1 equal to 0 in our equation number 1. So you get u of x t equal to c2 sin px into e raised to minus c square p square t, and this is equation number 2. This is our newly found solution. Now apply the second boundary condition in equation 2, that is when x equal to L, u equal to 0. In this equation number 2, you get this equation. And you know that c1 and c2 are not simultaneously 0 and it is true for all time. Therefore sin PL must be 0. That is sin PL equal to sin n pi and PL equal to n pi, and P is equal to n pi by L, where n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. Now substituting this in our equation 2, that is newly found solution, we get equation number 3. Since n is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc., we get many solutions like equation number 3, and the general solution is obtained by adding all those solutions. So we have found the sum of all those solutions, where C2 is now replaced by the constant Bn. Now remember this is our equation number 4 and this is the general solution. We have obtained by substituting both the boundary conditions 1 and 2. Now in our next step, that is step 3, we are going to apply the non-zero condition, that is initial condition, in equation number 4. When t is equal to 0, we have got the initial temperature which is given in this function. Now you have to substitute in equation 4. After substituting, you get left hand side is a function and right hand side is a summation of Bn sin n pi x by L, where t is substituted as 0. So when you put t as 0, you get e raised to 0, which is nothing but 1. Now this is how you get. Now this is nothing but a half range Fourier sine series. You can compare with our half range Fourier sine series, where Bn is given by the formula. Now in our step 4, we are going to evaluate the coefficient Bn by making use of the formula Bn is equal to 2 by L integral 0 to L f of x sin n pi x by L. But your interval 0 to L is divided into two parts, that is 0 to L by 2 and L by 2 to L. So we have to split the integration into two parts. Now within 0 to L by 2, your f of x is x, and within L by 2 to L, your f of x is L minus x. Since it is very difficult for us to integrate, let us call it as I1 and I2 and then evaluate I1 and I2 separately and then substitute in this equation. Now let us consider I1 separately. You can apply Bernoulli rule of integration, that is write this polynomial in the first bracket and integrate this function in the second bracket, minus differentiate the first bracket, integrate the second bracket, plus differentiate the first bracket, which is 0. Thus we have finished our formula. Now you can apply the limit 0 to L by 2. Now after applying the limits, you get I1. Similarly find out I2, which is integral L by 2 to L, L minus x sin n pi x by n. Here also you have to apply Bernoulli rule of integration, that is write the polynomial in one bracket. In the next bracket you have to integrate this second function, minus differential of first bracket, integral of second bracket, plus differential of first bracket, integral of second bracket, and so on. But here it is 0, so we stop here. Now apply the limits L by 2 to L. After applying the limits and solving further, you get I2. Finally, you can substitute in Bn. Bn is equal to 2 by L, I1 plus I2. After substituting and simplifying, you get Bn like this. Now our step 5 is nothing but substituting the coefficient Bn in the general solution. Thus, this is the required temperature function. This is a direct question because all the initial conditions and boundary conditions are given. We need to find out only temperature function. Now let us discuss our next type, problem 2. An insulated rod of length 30 cm has its end A and B maintained at 20 degree and 80 degree respectively. Now at present A and B are maintained at 20 degree and 30 degree respectively until steady state conditions prevail. That is, it is a condition where the temperature does not depend on time. Now after it reaches steady state condition, the temperature at each end is now suddenly reduced to 0 degrees Celsius. Now there is a drop in the temperature. After the steady state condition, there is a drop in the temperature. At both the ends, it is maintained at 0 degrees Celsius. And now we have to find out the resulting temperature function. Now let us begin by writing the solution as here we have not yet considered the time. Until the steady state condition prevails, we are not at all considering the time. Now the time starts once it reaches steady state. So t is equal to 0 once it reaches steady state. So u of x is 0, that is when time is 0. This is the initial condition, and this initial condition is the steady state temperature. Now let us find out the steady state temperature. Since you know that under steady state condition, the temperature does not depend on time. Therefore, you have the solution as u is equal to ax plus b. It is a function of x alone. Now we can find out the constants a and b by substituting the conditions, like when x equal to 0, the boundary condition u is equal to 20. And after substituting in this equation, you will find out the value of b, which is 20. And when x equal to 30, u is equal to 80, which is given in the question. Boundary conditions are given. After substituting, you will get a as 2. You can substitute a and b in our equation. U is equal to ax plus b. Once you obtain this steady state temperature, which is nothing but the initial condition, that is the steady state temperature starts, then t is equal to 0. You get u of x is 0, which is nothing but the initial condition. Now after the steady state, there is a sudden drop in the temperature. Now let us begin step 1 by writing the steady state temperature conditions. That is, the boundary conditions are, I told you, once it reaches the steady state temperature, there is a drop in the temperature. So u of 0t will be 0 now, u of 30t will be 0 now, and the steady state temperature, that is nothing but the initial condition, is 2x plus 20, which we have now obtained. Now using these conditions, we are going to solve the suitable solution of heat equation, just like problem 1. Step 2, apply 1 in equation 1, we get C1 equal to 0, substitute in and then you will get equation 2. Substitute the second condition in equation 2, you will get the value of P, which is n pi by 30. All the steps are same. Now after substituting, you will get equation 3. Now the general solution is obtained by adding all the solution, you get equation number 4. Now the step 3 is nothing but apply the initial condition in equation 4. All the steps are same, students, so no need to worry. And then apply the initial condition, and then you can compare this with our half range Fourier sine series, where we have to find out Bn. In step 4, we are going to find out Bn using the half range Fourier sine series by making use of the Bernoulli rule of integration. You can pause the video and go through the steps. And in step 5, finally, we are going to substitute the value of coefficient Bn in our solution, equation number 4. Now let us discuss another type 3 problem. A bar of 10 cm long with insulated sides has its ends A and B maintained at 50 degree and 100 degree respectively until steady state conditions prevail. The temperature at each end is suddenly raised to 90 degree and B is lowered to 60 degree. Find the resulting temperature U of xt. Now what is the difference between problem 2 and problem 3? In problem 2, after the steady state, both the end points are made the temperature as kept the temperature as 0, but here it is not 0. At end A it is raised and at end B it is lowered. Therefore we don't have a zero boundary conditions. So this comes under type 3 problem. So here also we are going to evaluate the steady state temperature u of x0 by substituting the boundary conditions. U is equal to 50 at x equal to 0 and u equal to 100 at x equal to 10 centimeter. We have to repeat the same steps. Find u of x0, and after steady state conditions the boundary conditions are 90 and 60. This is the only difference in type 2 problem. In type 2 these two were zeros and the initial conditions are so. Now since we don't have zero boundary conditions, we are going to split the temperature function as u of xt equal to u1x plus u2 of xt, where u1 of x is the steady state temperature and u2 of xt is the transient state temperature which depends on time. That is, as time increases this temperature decreases, but u1 of x is a steady state temperature which does not depend on time. Upon adding these two we get our temperature function. Now u1 of x is a steady state temperature which satisfies these two boundary conditions. Now we have to find u1 of x and u2 of x. Now we are going to evaluate u1 of x. Like I told you, u1 of x satisfies the boundary conditions. So when x equal to 0, u1 is 90. When x equal to 10, u1 equal to 60. Substitute these two conditions and then find out c and d. So you get c equal to minus 3 and d equal to 90. After you get u1 of x, now we have to find out u2 of xt. Now I am going to rearrange this equation such a way that this term I am bringing it to the left hand side. See, I have brought that to the left hand side, and then u2 of xt satisfies the heat equation subjecting to the boundary conditions. Now let us find out the boundary conditions of u2 of xt. So u2 of 0t will be u of 0t minus u1 of 0, which is nothing but 90 minus 90, which is 0. Now u2 of 10t, put x as 10 here, so you will get u of 10t minus u1 of 10, which is 60 minus 60 equal to 0. Now we have got the boundary conditions as zero boundary conditions. The initial condition is obtained similarly by putting t equal to 0 in this equation. Now when you put t equal to 0, you know u of x0, which is 5x plus 50, and you have found out u1 of x, which is minus 3x plus 90. Upon solving this you get 8x minus 40. Now we have to find only u2 of xt subject to boundary conditions 0, 0 and initial condition 8x minus 40. Now let us rewrite the solution of heat equation in terms of u2 of xt. We are going to repeat the same steps like earlier because we now obtained a zero boundary condition. Now apply boundary condition 1 in equation number 1, you get the c1 equal to 0. Substitute this in equation number 1, you get the second equation. Now apply second boundary condition in the second equation, you get p is equal to n pi by 10. Upon substituting this we get the third equation, and then adding all those solutions we get a general solution, call that as equation number 4. Now in step 3 let us apply the initial condition in equation number 4, that is when t is equal to 0, u2 of x0 is 8x minus 40. Upon substituting in equation 4, here we have put t as 0, so e raised to 0 is 1. Now if you compare this is a half range Fourier sine series where Bn is evaluated using this formula. In step 4 we are going to find out Bn by using Bernoulli rule of integration, and then you can simplify further. And in step 5 you have to substitute that in our u2 of xt in our general solution, that is equation number 4. After substituting, this is not the temperature function, actually it is a transient state temperature. We have to finally add the steady state temperature and transient state temperature in order to get the temperature function. I hope you have understood. Thank you.